Justice reform, a major government priority. The church, a central part of the restoration of the family and the nation. And Memorial Park honoring victims of the 1907 earthquake nearing completion. You're tuned in to Jamaica House Weekly with me, Simone Wolf. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller started last week with a focus on justice as the basis for a peaceful and prosperous Jamaica. At the swearing-in ceremony for the island's newest president of the Court of Appeal on Monday, Mrs. Simpson Miller committed her government to continuing the justice reform program in 2016. She said justice reform required a change of culture and approach by key stakeholders, supported by significant public investment.
This is taking place during a period when Jamaica continues on a path of sustained fiscal discipline and economic reform. Nevertheless, key changes must be made to ensure the swift delivery of justice. This requires absolute primacy on synergies between prosecution and defense counsel to achieve the timely disposal of cases.
Mrs. Simpson Miller meanwhile expressed confidence in Justice Dennis Morrison's ability to carry out his duties as President of the Court of Appeal.
Jamaica is proud of Justice Dennis Morrison and is thankful that we have a man of his mettle to lead the Court of Appeal, our highest domestic court.
By Wednesday, Prime Minister Simpson Miller was expressing her belief in the power of God to forgive, heal, and restore as she took part in the 11th annual Heal the Family, Heal the Nation church service. The Prime Minister also called for the maintenance of strong families, which she said was critical to building strong communities and uniting the nation.
All Jamaicans should remember that no matter our social or economic status, no matter our religion or political persuasion, we are Jamaicans first. Now is the time to put Jamaica first.
On Thursday, Mrs. Simpson Miller was in Trelawney for the opening of the rebranded Melia Braco Village. The 225-room hotel was renovated at a cost of $23.5 million and is a private-public partnership between the National Insurance Fund and the Melia Group out of Spain.
This opening also represents the fusion of local and international investment capital to ensure adequate returns on investment as well as national economic development for Jamaica and our people.
Mrs. Simpson Miller said she was pleased that the hotel employs 400 Jamaicans who are mainly from surrounding areas. She also praised the management for maintaining the Jamaican village setting and the Georgian architecture of the nearby town. Meanwhile, with the island garnering more than $2 billion from tourism, the Prime Minister said government would be increasing training to take advantage of unfolding opportunities in the sector. And Mrs. Simpson Miller applauded the National Insurance Fund for its continued investment in the island, which has resulted in greater benefits for retired Jamaicans. According to the Prime Minister, the National Insurance Fund had grown from $1.5 billion in 1989 to $77 billion 27 years later.
This has allowed the government to repeatedly upgrade national insurance benefits to our pensioners. I am happy that the fund is now involved in various productive sectors of the economy.
At another of her engagements last week, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller expressed satisfaction with upgrading works being done on a memorial park in honor of the victims of the January 14, 1907 earthquake and fire, which killed over 1,000 persons. During Friday's tour of the memorial park at Greenwich Town in St. Andrew, Mrs. Simpson Miller spoke of the importance of the monument and plans to open the area to cultural tourism. She said phase 1 of the park construction is worth $15 million.
We want to do the opening, the official opening of this site at the time of the earthquake and the date of the earthquake this month. In his passing, Jamaica has lost a brilliant nation builder and a passionate advocate for workers' rights.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller paying tribute to the late trade unionist Lloyd Goodley. At his funeral held on Saturday at the Holy Trinity Cathedral in Kingston, Mrs. Simpson Miller said Goodley contributed to improving labor relations on the island. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly today. Join us next week for more stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.